Piyush, just hold on for a while. I'll come back to you. Dr. Subramanian Swamy joining us on the phone line. Dr. Swamy, day 2 of the negotiation makes no headway. But one very important point, I'm not very sure, Dr. Swamy, if you've heard, the kind of negotiations that were essentially taking place. One of the interlocutors actually said that no negotiation, no dialogue will take place if the media is at the protest site. It certainly did not sound like an interlocutor speaking. It sounded more like a spokesperson there.
Well, the interlocutors should normally sit in a room and talk to the leaders of those who organize these protests. But instead of that, they are addressing a public meeting. And they're being humiliated. I can see that on your screen. And it's a very tragic thing. They are representing the Supreme Court. And they have, the Supreme Court has placed faith on them that they will find a solution. But they have, in fact, what they have done is just go and plead. And they have got a rebuff.
Dr. Swamy, we'll try and reconnect with Dr. Swamy just to understand the framework within which perhaps the interlocutors also need to operate, because as Dr. Swamy was also saying that after all they are representatives of the Supreme Court. But if you have simply go by what the interlocutors were basically saying, that in itself raises some questions. Dr. Swamy once again joining us on the phone line. Apologize for the communication problem, Dr. Swamy, but let me come back to you and try and understand the framework within which the interlocutors need to operate. Dr. Swamy, tell us, how does an interlocutor will have to basically operate, given the fact that there are certain boundaries that they cannot cross?
Well, first of all, they've got till only the 24th because the Supreme Court has given them that date. The second is they have to talk to people who can make the crowd agree. But there doesn't seem to be any such person. And that is why they're addressing the entire crowd. There's no possibility of finding any mediation in this circumstance. And what is the thing? As far as the CAA is concerned, it can't be touched. It's already been adopted by Parliament, now implemented. There's nothing left. And it's not a continuing amendment because it was only meant for those 31,313 people who are on the list of people who came from those 3 countries due to persecution, religious persecution. And they have all got their papers, citizenship papers. Now the matter is over. And the question then is on the NRC and NPR. Now, nothing has been formalized there. What they are going to negotiate? They can at most say that we'll see that the Supreme Court is asked the government that before you get it to Parliament and pass it or you adopt it in any administrative manner, you will approach the Supreme Court and give us a copy of the draft NPR and NRC. That's the maximum you can do. For that, you don't have to come here and sit here and get yourself humiliated with all these people giving hot speeches that they will not yield 1 inch and so on. How are you going to negotiate in an open public? And therefore, I think this is doomed from the start. And I think the torture that these 3 people are being subjected to, these interrogators, should be ended by the Supreme Court saying, okay, we have seen enough. Now we will decide this basis on constitutional principle and take the necessary steps. We have no problem. They're sitting there for eternity, but they can't block traffic. They can't burn buses.
Right.
And the state can easily intervene, pick them up and put them in an open space like near Tughlakabad. There's a lot of open space in Delhi there.
Right.
And let them agitate for life there. But we are not going to yield as far as CAA is concerned.